Warhammer Fest.
Welcome back to Warhammer Fest Online, where we're on the 5th day of our action-packed Festival of Reveals. It's our 2nd day of announcements for Warhammer 40,000. There's far too much to cram into just one day after all, and we're guaranteed there's something you weren't expecting below. Want to see what else has been going on in the week? Head to Warhammer Fest Online Hub to find everything collected in one convenient place. If you missed Day 5's live show, make sure to check it out. You can watch it right here. So I'll leave the Warhammer community link in the description box below. So if you're interested in watching this Warhammer Fest, please go and do so. Earlier this week, we stopped by the 41st Millennium and saw the full blah 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 blah.
Where's the greenskins? Wah!
We're back in the world of Warhammer 40,000 again today, but things are looking a little greener than usual. Beast Snaggas Orcs Army Box. Unless you've been living deep in the Underhive for the last few months, you'll have heard the approach of the Beast Snaggas Orcs thundering closer every day. Now the initial wave is almost here. Soon you can start your next green tide with a box set featuring the Beast Snaggas Orcs. You've seen a few of the Squighog boys already, but there's a whole mob of models in this box that are seeing the light of day for the first time. Mobs of mounted Beast Snaggas are often led into battle by a nob, much like their foot-slogging comrades. For these brutal warriors, the regular Squighog doesn't offer quite enough oomph on the charge. Instead, they ride ferocious smasher squigs, adorned with a heavy armor plate that's perfect for becoming the living, snarling wrecking ball that all orcs aspire to be. Speaking of leaders, you may have noticed a particularly conspicuous gentleman with a rather wild crop of hair hanging around. Zodgrod Snaggas is one of a rare breed, a runt herd for hire, shunned by Orc society for his wild and preposterous ideas, his supposedly absurd theory. Maybe grots aren't entirely useless after all. By using such un-orky practices as positive reinforcement, Zodgrod lifts the runts under his care to heights other Gretchen can only dream of, much to the collective derision of his peers. This doesn't stop many of the Beast Snaggas grots from being used for classically creative orc engineering. However, particularly unlucky types might find themselves as the brain in a new breed of smart weapons accompanying the Squighog boys. In addition to all these models that are perfect for starting a beast war of your own, the new army box offers a chance to get your hands on the full Orc Codex early. The standalone books releases arriving a short time later. You know, when the vanguard approaches, the rest of the war isn't far behind. We can't wait for all the new orcs, so we just had to go and talk to the studio team to find out how they designed the lads of the Beast Snaggas. So if you want to listen to the design team and what they have to say, as I said, I'll leave the Warhammer community link in the description box. Best of all, these models we've shown off are only half of the green skin reinforcements you'll be seeing this year. Keep an eye firmly trained on our regular Here We Go article series to discover what's coming next. Oh, and if you're worried about the Beast Snaggas getting all the new toys, don't be. Mega armoured war bosses have appeared in Orc codexes before, but didn't have their own miniature up until now. We're excited to finally show off the first true appearance for this much requested model. Plenty of orcs are happy to adorn themselves in their mech boys creations. And when a war boss fancies shrugging off anti-tank weapons on his way to the scrap, they often reach for a suit of mega armor. Of course, the only reasonable weapon to carry at that point is the largest orc portable chopper we've ever seen, and luckily a particularly courageous Gretchen is on hand to fire his shooter now that the boss hands are full. And then we got upgraded Cadian shock troops, the people who make up the fighting.
We're not here for those Umi gits, we're here for the WAAAGGGHHHHHAMMER.
So now let's go over everything that we've seen in this Warhammer Fest. So we get the Beast Snagga Orcs army set, which I'm really looking forward to. We've had stuff similar in the past, but this is all new models. This is going to be sweet. Now, the box art could have been something new that we haven't seen before, but I'm not hating on it. Then we can see the whole WAAAGGGHHHHAMMER here. So I really love the Beast Snagga boys. Obviously each one is unique by the looks of it. It doesn't look like there's... it looks like there's a couple of doubles up. They've just painted some scales red and some scales blue. But hopefully it's not just how Games Workshop sometimes give you doubles of everything. Hopefully there's enough changeability where you can make them a bit different. But it looks like we might get doubles, so 5 unique sculpts. So I'll be changing them up somehow because I don't really like orcs at least having the same faces. Bodies I can change up a little bit by paint and stuff like that. And weapons, if I can't change them, I'll probably be cutting weapons off and replacing them. I mean, I collect Auric War Clans, so that might be interchangeable, or at least I could stick some weapons on from that kit. So I'm thinking the Beast Snagga boys will be about Auric War Clans brute size, so they're basically a bit bigger than your Ard boys from Warhammer Fantasy or AOS, and your boys from 40k. Now the Squigog boys, they're looking really awesome. I like the different angles we've got to see of these on here, and I like the one with the wheels, so he's like doing a mono wheel sort of thing. I love that little git as well. But yeah, this box set is looking really good. I want to snag one of these. Snag, get it? Beast Snaggas. But yeah, this kit looks amazing. This is kind of how I like my orcs. I do like them armoured up, but this is just, yeah, my cup of tea for sure. I mean, like most people at first, I was sort of like, why not go in the armoured orc direction? More technology and stuff like that. But yeah, this is really sweet. I always have liked Savage Orcs from Warhammer, and yeah, Snakebites are awesome as well, but they just never seem to get the love. Obviously this is Beast Snaggas, but yeah, you get my point. I love all these new weapons. The big choppers look amazing. Those Snagga stick Snagga boys, whatever they are, they look pretty sweet. But yeah, I want to get a copy of this so I can add it to my reviews, review it for all the people that can't unfortunately get it. Maybe they can't financially, or unfortunately they can't find one. So I want a box so I can add it to my orc reviews. And yeah, this is looking really promising, and I'm keen to see what the other 50% is. I'm guessing more techie stuff. Now we have Nob on Smasher Squig. Now this guy is just amazing. I really love this for sure. I love his face is a little bit more angry and stern and dedicated and determined, that sort of look on his face. I love the mechanical arm on orcs now. I love how they actually have fingers. Like, that's just, yeah, really techie. and I love that. The gun looks dope as well. It looks sort of almost like a bit of a western look to him somehow, like he's just rocking up in his Smasher Squig. The Smasher Squig looks like he's moving a little bit slow, but you know that it's going to build up momentum and smash into something with that head of his and headbutt someone and yeah, just destroy it. Like imagine that on the side of a tank, it's just going to probably knock that tank over and flying. And then it's got that little saddle and it's got those little straps where his feet can go onto. It just looks sweet. Looks like, yeah, it's like got an exhaust or some sort of vent on the Squig. Yeah, that's just crazy. And then he's got his, obviously, his big chopper behind him. So yeah, overall I absolutely love this fella. This git is mean as. And then we have good old Zodgrod Wartsnagger himself. Now, to be honest with you, at first when I saw this, I was a bit conflicted, because the old model seems like he was beefier than Gaz, like a really staunch orc. So at first I thought, who's this sort of puny little orc? But he's grown on me over time, and the anime hair that Games Workshop are doing lately is a little bit meh, but they've done it on, say, like the vampires and stuff. Like the hair is just, it doesn't look as natural, it looks more cartoony in my opinion. But as I say, after a while he grew on me, and yeah, I know that the old one was 2nd edition, so we've moved far from that. Just, I guess I had to put it in perspective that I loved the old Gazskull, the little metal one from 2nd edition. So obviously Gazskull has moved really far away from that. I just like that sort of ruggish Viking Mongolian look the orcs used to have. And even Wartsnagger, he was quite armoured up, even though he was a snake bite. He had quite a lot of armour, he had an eye patch. His beard was more fluffy, kind of like Hagrid from Harry Potter. Like a staunch, fluffy sort of beard and the hair to go with it. And yeah, just had a lot of earrings and a lot of decoration. But there's no point dwelling on the past. The past is the past, and we may as well talk about the future. So what we have here in front of us is a really unique, original looking orc. Like nothing we've really seen before. Maybe similar to Warhammer AOS Weird Knob Shaman. He looks a little bit like that. How he's really old, and it's like his skin is really on his muscles, like he's just sort of wrinkly almost he looks. And then yeah, he's seen some war, he's got his mechanical leg now, and the gun looks really dope. And then he's got that grot grabber stick and prodder combination, so you can see that he's holding that. He's got that huge hook in his bag, I'm guessing it's a bag. So that's probably for snagging up some squigs, I guess. Going fishing with his fishing rod, dangling it down, picking out some fresh squigs for his army. But yeah, he looks sort of really crazy. He has this look like he's just been shunned from society, and he just doesn't care about his facial hair and all that sort of stuff. He doesn't really wear armor. He just reminds me of the crazy old man running down the street screaming, "Gorka Mork are returning, Gorka Mork are returning." Now this is a guess, but it looks like the hair squig and the beard squig, it looks like there's little teeth. It looks similar to the art we've seen before of squigs, and they have little teeth and they attach to you. Now personally, I'm not the biggest fan of that lore, that squigs are their hair. I'd prefer orcs grew hair naturally, so I'm not sure how I feel about that. I may remove them, that's probably my only gripe. I may remove those little teeth parts, because it's the only part I'm probably not feeling, but we'll see how I feel later on. And I love how he's got these old, blunted old man teeth. The only thing is though, I thought orcs grew teeth quite regularly. I don't know why he would have not so many and that sort of thing, but it does adds to the overall aesthetic of him. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting this model and painting him up and having my own personal touch to him. So yeah, it went from a bit of a disaster to falling in love with him. Then we have pictures of basically the Beast Snaggas here, and we have our little, I guess it's Snot because he looks smaller than the Gretchen that we've seen. But I love the side view that we get of these squig hogs. Like you can see the mechanical leg more on that one on the far left. You can see The middle squig hog boy is sort of galloping. I like that momentum in the model. Then the one on the right looks like he's slowing down a bit and the actual orc is ready to throw his sticker. So I like how they all have variation and variance. So the first one looks like he's just enjoying the ride. The middle one looks like he's coming up off on that wheel. And then that last one looks like he's ready to stick someone. And that little snot on the squig is just awesome. I don't really understand why they wouldn't give you, say, like a whole group of them. Why you've just got the one, sort of what's his purpose? Is his purpose to sort of distract the army as the other ones do something? I mean, they'll move as a unit, right? So, not quite sure, but either way, he's a crazy, awesome little snot, that one is. His squig looks a little bit more like Tank Buster squigs or AOS squigs. He doesn't look quite as piggy, but he still looks great. I guess my only concern about this kit is this all we get. We don't get no variations in faces and other parts, so if you build a big squad of these, you're going to have a lot of similarity. I mean, with AOS gore grunters, you can have the hackers, which are like spears, or you could have the hand weapons like choppers. So will we get something like that, or will they at least have any different extra heads? But I guess I'm always greedy and want extra bits, extra heads and stuff. But I guess we'll see. Most likely we'll just get what we see. Now, getting the codex early, that's interesting. So in the codex, will we see the 50% of other stuff that we haven't seen yet? So will we get to see stuff early? Or will it just be Beast Snaggas, which I highly doubt, because then it seems a bit, you know, why would they make us buy another codex? But they could, couldn't they? But also, knowing GW, they will probably reveal the rest of 50% of other orc stuff before this box set comes out, so we'll probably most likely see maybe some new boys, knobs, hopefully, some commandos. They hinted at commandos in the trailer, so they said about sneaky gits, so I think we'll get a new set of them. I'd say they're moving away from fine cast. Hopefully, I mean, I don't mind resin, but I prefer working with my plastic kits. I mean, hopefully we get new tank busters and commandos. I mean, I've only just bought those kits, but that was more for reviews, and I still won't mind painting them up and just having them as a relic, I guess. I'm still keen on new plastic kits. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of all of this. The art, as I mentioned, would have been nice to see something new. Have a new image of Beast Snaggas that we possibly haven't seen would have been nice, not stuff that we've already seen and it's rehashed. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of this. And of course we have to end with the war boss in mega armor. Now this guy looks really awesome. The only thing that is a bit weird to me is the way his face is positioned. Now my best guess is that he's swinging so hard that his face hasn't caught up, if you know what I mean. But yeah, it is a little bit like his jaw's been dislocated. But overall, that chopper is, yeah, amazing. I love the way that chopper's designed with these rotating saws on it. And yeah, he still has the TV box that I've mentioned before on the Mega knobs, but it's a little bit more free-flowing. He has the TV around his head, but then his arms aren't so square and bulky, which I really enjoy and like. I like they've moved slightly away from that. Now the actual orc or war boss's face is really good. The Gretchen is a little bit basic. I'm not feeling him too much. I mean, he's good, but we've seen better Gretchen before. I just would have hoped a little bit more detail on him. That weapon that the Gretchen is holding though, or firing, looks really awesome. I love the clip in the top, and I love the orc war boss's shoulder pads. I love his arm guards. Yeah, it's all pretty good. I like how it sort of fits in with the mega knobs, but also he stands out. He has those big bulky shoes or boots that they have. I love how his jaw piece is a lot different than we've seen before. Normally you get a lot more of those teeth looking parts, but he only has a couple of them, almost like tusk. But I can't wait to get my green mitts on this war boss in mega armor. I just can't wait to build and paint this fella. So that's my review of Warhammer Fest. I hope you enjoyed it. Now I just wanted to say that I've been a year on YouTube now, so I've got a year anniversary. So if you use the code 1YEAR, all in capitals, in my Teespring store, you'll get 15% off. But also go and look at my 1 year anniversary video and go into the draw to win some free merch. So yeah, but as always, I appreciate you watching. This was G The Hypersapien, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.